Hey, hey, hey. Hey, Joyce. Can you hear me? I don't know if this headset is going to work. Um, just waiting to see other people.
Hi.
Hey, hi, Brian.
Hey, how are you doing? How are you doing?
Good.
We're trying to figure out how to do it, whether we do it this way or should we do it this way?
That way is perfect. This way is
Okay.
perfect. Joyce, I'm going to need you to move over a little bit because that light
Oh
behind
yeah.
you.
Oh, Brian's gonna
Let me do something about this.
he's gonna oh I know it's too is that
It's,
better?
yes, much better.
Yeah.
It is
Okay.
really sunny out there in Arizona.
Yes. Guess who we're gonna
Huh?
later?
I
Uh
know.
your buddy.
I know. Give my buddy a hug for me, please.
I will. He said
Um,
he's actually gonna be listening. He said he's gonna
y-
join.
yeah, he just followed me. Hi, Nicole. Um,
I think so.
hi, Malik. Just waiting for a few people to get in. How's the weather in Arizona?
Oh, as always, hot. But it's
Mm-hmm.
nice though. You know, it's the dry heat.
Mm-hmm.
And then and to me, honestly, when you're inside with the air conditioning for a long period of time, when you step out, that's like the best feeling because it's
Oh,
the sun.
okay. Yeah. I remember
Yeah.
the first time I visited our friend there and
Uh-huh.
came out the airport. I was like, oh, no, no, no. I don't think I can do this. And he was like, well, you used to live in California, you used to live in the valley, so you should be used to it. So,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Take your glasses off. You can see reflection.
Okay. No, he's fine. Or you can see a
Oh no, I'm
reflection
saying
of
for
your
him, yeah. It's
oh,
his
okay.
screen that's behind the
Okay.
that might work because it was just shining like directly. Yeah, that's way better. Yeah,
Okay.
you can still see it. Hold on. He's trying to adjust.
Okay.
Hold on.
I'm so excited. This is my
I know
first
we are too.
live.
You're a great interviewer,
Yes.
so I know it's going to be riveting.
Ah, well, I have wonderful guests, so I know it's going to be
Oh,
riveting.
thank
And you guys
you.
don't be shy. This is very informal. So, anyways, and since IG only gives you an hour for a live, so I'm just
Mhm.
gonna as people just have to catch up where they catch up, and it will be on my page so everybody can see it. So I want to thank everybody who has come in thus far. And I'm super excited because this is my first live under I Am So Not Hollywood TV here on IG. Ah, I love the sound of that.
Yes. And we're so happy to be
Yeah,
your
thank
first
you. You're
guest.
your
What an
first guest.
honor.
Thank you for even thinking
Thank
of
you.
us.
Exactly.
Thank you for coming on, for
Hmm.
agreeing to come on, because I love you guys so much. And
Oh,
first of
that's
all,
good.
I want to shout out to you guys both for Hidden Orchard Mysteries. Did I say that right? I got it right. I
You
got it
said it
right. I got it
exactly right.
right. I got it
Yeah.
right.
Thank
That
you.
was so much fun to watch. Last Friday, it was
Hmm.
the premiere screening. Well,
Hmm.
the sneak preview
Right.
screening, I
Sneak
shall
peek.
say.
Yeah.
Yes, and
Right,
I
right.
really
Hmm.
enjoyed it, and I'm
Hmm.
definitely
Thank
going to
you.
be watching it, and we'll get a chance to talk about that a little bit later, as well as your documentary, Joyce, The
Hmm.
Color of Medicine, the Homer G. Phillips story. Right? I
Hmm.
get that
We
right?
both
I got that right.
Oh,
Okay.
we both did. Yeah, both Brian and I
Both. I
both.
know
Yeah.
because you guys come as a pair. It's
Yeah, well, he does his own thing. Well,
he's
actually, he directed Hidden Orchards all by himself. He's a
Hmm.
director in his own right, and I would say actually probably a better director than I am. But we did co-direct The Color Medicine, so
Right.
he did a
yes,
wonderful
and
job in Hidden Orchard, I think.
it was wonderful. It was wonderful, and I did check out your documentary, Joyce: The Color of Medicine, and the interviews were wonderful, and so much history, especially now. It's the
Yeah.
history that we as people should know. And we
Yes.
don't know because I never heard of the Homer G. Phillips Hospital until now. So thank you,
Yeah.
Joyce, for bringing us such a wonderful documentary. So I'm
Okay.
just going to give a little bit of background on my guest. Joyce Fitzpatrick is a native of Indianapolis, Indiana. She's a producer, writer, director. She graduated from California State University of Los Angeles with a bachelor's degree in telecommunication and film. And some of her credits include ABC, NBC, CW, UPN Network, PBS, Discovery Channel, E Entertainment, and BET.
It's
Girl.
been a long grind. Yeah. It's been long. Yeah. And, but it was fun.
Wow.
Yeah. But it was all worth it, because it put me where I am today. So I definitely appreciate all of that history. I do.
Yes. And one of the things I wanted to point out was your work with Bill Moyer and
Mm-hmm.
the Moyers on Addiction Close to Home in LA and Teen Connection.
Mm-hmm.
So, hey, that is awesome. We're
Yes.
going we're going to dive into all of that, but let's talk about Mr. Shackleford over here, who is a graduate of Loyola Marymount University Film School in California. He is the founder of Tunnel Vision Films. Um, his credits include, oh wow, 20th Century Fox, New Line, VH1, MTV, 51 Minds Entertainment, 44 Blue, Ryan Seacrest Production, World of Wonder, T Group Production, Eclectics, Scott Sternberg Productions, and Down in Front Entertainment. Wow. So we're
Mm-hmm.
not talking to any amateurs here. Okay, we're talking to some
you,
seasoned veterans.
you
Best
can see the
believe.
gray. You can see the
Say that
gray.
again.
You can see
Yeah.
the gray.
I think we're all a little gray, Brian.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm. But that's a sign of success or whatever.
Right,
Wisdom,
right.
wisdom,
There
Yes.
you go.
success,
Wisdom
and
is the perfect
wisdom.
word.
There you
Perfect
go.
word.
Yes, yes. And as previously mentioned, um, Brian's film credits include Hidden Orchard Mysteries, the case of the Airbnb robberies, which, guys, it's out. I posted yesterday, so go
I
check out the links to where everything is, and you
Right.
can watch
thank
it. I
Thank
get
you.
you.
it's family friendly,
Yeah.
so watch with your kids because your kids they're on summer break right now, so.
Right.
Um, Getting the munchies, watch what you pray for, ungrateful, and bad news baller. Um, his documentaries include A Night at the Huntgate
Huntgate.
about
Yeah.
U.S.
Yeah.
House of Representative William Huntgate's influence in desegregation and busing, and the Watergate scandal, narrated by his son David Huntgate. Oh, original member of the group Toto.
Yes.
Wow. And of
Yes.
course, um, as I previously stated, The Color of Medicine, the story of Homer G. Phillips Hospital. And this is also about the rise and fall of the first all Black premier hospital in the
Mm-hmm.
world from 1937 to 1942.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, so this we're just going to talk. We're going to just dive into everything. Who wants to start? Joyce, ladies first.
Yes, definitely. Always.
Let's
Definitely.
Well,
talk
first of
about the
all,
color of medicine.
oh, definitely. We can dive into it. First of all, thank you so much, Linda, for having us on your show. And, you have just been a supporter of ours for so many years. You interviewed us when we did Animal Control, which is still one of our
Yes, yes,
favorites. I
yes.
love Animal Control. And you never know, it might end up on TV. But
Mhm.
thank you so much for having us. And you're such a great
You're
interview.
welcome.
We're
Right.
really excited. For the color medicine, I have to thank, again, it was brought to me through Dr. Earl, Earleu Robinson Jr., and his daughter, Rebecca Robinson. They reached out to me. Thank God for all the social media. They reached out to me on Facebook back in, I think it was 2013. And I didn't even know who she was when she reached
Mhm.
out to me because I used to be her babysitter.
Oh,
And
wow.
yeah, and I didn't know she was married at the time. So when she sent me a message, I didn't know who she was, and there was no picture. So when we finally spoke, that was actually the first time I'd ever heard her speak as well, because she was a baby when I babysit her. So it was really funny.
Wow, that was a long
It was
time.
great, but really great ties. So anyway, once they shared their story, it was so unique. And Brian, he's like, we do this bad cop, good cop thing, because people bring projects to me all the time, but we have to vent, or vet these projects.
Right.
So Brian was like, that's great that Dr. Robinson, worked at this hospital, but, I mean, I don't know, so story about how unique and
froze a little
amazing this
bit.
hospital was, that
Mhm.
the story had to be told.
Yeah.
So once we both decided, we still couldn't start the project because we were working on another documentary we did, which I don't know if you've seen, Sunshine Noodles and Me. That was actually on PBS as well. And we were finishing that project. So then we were able to delve into The Color of Medicine. And it has been a full journey, starting from like 2015 until 2018. And then it was finally, because it traveled all around the world in film festivals and also premiere screenings. And we finally got a distribution deal, and we probably could have done it in the beginning, but we just wanted to share it privately. So once we decided to let it go to the world, now it is available on DVD, SVOD, and people can buy the DVD. And so many people have sent us posts where they've actually bought the DVD.
Right.
So we're so honored, and we want to thank Rebecca and her dad again. We had an amazing journey with them on this film, and we just all wish success for everyone on this movie. It was wonderful to do.
No,
And I just want to tell everyone, it's called The Color of Medicine, the Homer G.
The story of Homer G.
The story, I'm sorry, the story of Homer G. Phillips Hospital. Please forgive me. It's been a long day. But I want everybody seriously to really buy the DVD. I know it's available on Amazon. It's an important film. I've watched parts of it, and it's great storytelling. It's our history, and it's something that they do not teach in history books. I had never heard of the hospital prior to your documentary. So thank you again, Joyce, for bringing that to our attention, because, this is what we need. We need Black filmmakers to tell our stories.
Absolutely.
So we appreciate you greatly. And you mentioned, and I see that here, the PBS feature Sunshine, Noodles, and Me, that about one woman's journey through breast cancer while adjusting to life in Singapore, Malaysia. So Brian, I want to talk about Hidden Origins Mysteries first, and then we can come back to Sunshine, Noodles, and Me.
Okay, definitely. I don't even know where to start with.
So excited.
Hidden Orchard Mysteries is kind of, honestly, it's a dream come true, because I'm a big fan. I've always been a big fan, and still am, of Encyclopedia Brown. Nancy Drew, all of those type of stories. And my thing was Encyclopedia Brown was that was my thing. So I always wanted to do, my original goal was I was going to do a version of Encyclopedia Brown for us called Thesaurus Jackson, and I still would like to do that idea, and I think we can spin off into that after creating this. But Joyce, we definitely connected with Nancy Drew, and when she was explaining the idea of the story, because the story is all Joyce's her story. When she was explaining the story of Hidden Orchard, I'm thinking, wow, we can really combine the two ideas. And then we did a short film for Joyce where
I directed called Welcome to the Neighborhood. And Brian was the DP on that, and partially the story writer on that as well. And we had actually worked with one of the actresses, the girl who played Gabby that you saw in Hidden Orchard.
Yes.
Well, we had actually worked with her on another film that Brian directed called Identity Confirmed. That's where we first met her. And I think she was like 10 or 11 or 12 or something like that. So we've all been friends. We
Gabby,
raised her.
yeah,
Right.
grown up on screen.
And so Brian said we have to do something to include Gabby, because when we were filming Welcome to the Neighborhood, she worked with another great actress called Michaela Creighton. And Michaela was great. And we just did this short, and it ended up being picked up by, it was like a McDonald's commercial challenge. But for whatever reason, I think we got it in too late. But we ended up getting it on a few other platforms. And it spawned the idea to do Hidden Orchard. Right. And actually, Hidden Orchard is a real place. It's my street that I grew up on too, which is hilarious.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. It was able to basically go back to the short idea that we had did and really branch it out into what we really wanted to make it. And it makes such a difference when you're writing to be able to write for the characters that you know. Because I wrote this character specifically for Gabby, knowing her and how she was, how she had grown up. So to play this character, and we were hoping to find a Janess to kind of play her counterpart, and we got very lucky in finding Janess. Sorry, to find a Lulu. A Janess to come in, because she just came in.
She was amazing,
and just she was the definite compliment that we needed. Because I kept saying, and I know Joyce got so tired of hearing this, if you don't believe this friendship between these two, nothing else matters.
That's true.
Nothing else matters in the film. But if you can fall in love with these two, then you're willing to get on your own proverbial bike and take your journey through the neighborhood with them. And that's that's what we were going after. Because even in watching it myself, it reminds me of how I felt watching those type of films, Escape from Witch Mountain, and everything is an adventure.
It really takes you back nostalgically, like because we all rode our bikes through the neighborhood, and everybody knew all the neighbors and all the and that was the time, for all of us, I believe, for our community raised us. So if you were out doing something you weren't supposed to be doing, the neighbor would call your parents and tell. That's how it used to be. Nowadays, people don't halfway know their neighbors, which I think is really sad.
Which is really sad, because that's one of the things about our community is that when you heard it takes a village to raise a child, it really did. Back in the day, it took your village was the neighborhood, and your parents knew about things that you had done prior to you knowing that they knew. So that was it. And Ryan, Lulu, played by Janeska, I believe that she's from Washington, D.C.
No,
Atlanta.
I think she actually originally was born, but we because on her bio, I think it actually
she was born in Washington.
She was born in D.C.
Yeah, but she lives in Atlanta, and we actually cast her in Atlanta when we got out there, because we shot the whole film. That was our first production that we shot. Our first time shooting in Atlanta.
Which is great.
Well, we'll claim her because she's DC born, so we're gonna claim her. We're gonna bring her as one of our own.
It was really. I realized in the projects that I've done, I really enjoy working with kids. I love working with adults, but when you work with kids, it's almost. It's one of those things where it kind of, when you work with kids, it reinforces kind of what you know, because you do so much, not really teaching, but kind of going back down to their level, simplifying everything. And once you simplify everything, it helps you look at things in a different way also. I always say it's like kicking off your shoes and getting in the sandbox. Let's just play. And once you can do that, it's amazing the things that you can find on screen.
It's awesome. So what was it like working with a great cast of actors and actresses on Hidden Orchard? Because it was everybody seemed like they really genuinely got along, even though the bad guys, it just seemed like it was such a great community. And so talk about that. What was it like?
I mean, it's funny because I'm thinking about it. When we had our premiere, it was to see everybody come back, because we had a small gathering afterwards, and to have everybody come back and to be able to connect with those people. It really is amazing that in that 14-day and we were there maybe 14 days of filming, and we were there 2 weeks earlier. But the fact that family bond that we were able to create in that short amount of time, and a lot of these people were people we had never worked with before.
Actually, pretty much everyone except for Gabby.
Wow.
And the other couple, which we can talk about them. You might have liked their input, Katara and Carlos, the bakery, the cupcake people.
Yes,
And
I love them. I
yeah,
love them. I love them. I was
we
like, I
brought
want to
them
go to
from
their
nowhere.
bakery. I want to go to
I
their
know, I know,
Exactly,
I know.
exactly.
They're really great. Yeah.
Yeah, but we brought them from Los Angeles along
Right.
with Ken Montgomery, who was a producer and helped also with the
Yes.
lighting. But everything else we got in Atlanta, and I give so much praise to Jeff Bowden, who came on and was our first AD. Was really probably the first hire we made in
Yeah,
Atlanta.
actually we met Jeff Bowden here, I mean in California, because when we started the process, of course, you know, pre-production, we actually started in California trying to put things together, and but we advertised in Atlanta.
Right.
And Jeff answered the call, and when we spoke, I just clicked with Jeff, and Jeff was amazing. And he brought his A game. And when we got to Atlanta, I mean, he really hooked us up. And we just love Jeff. And Jeff worked so hard, and he had such a great attitude. You know, I mean, we were really, when you talk about diversity, I mean, with everything that's going on right
It was a
now.
very diverse cast.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
And he, and even with the crew, because we're talking about in regarding the crew.
Yeah.
If you see, go and look on our website and everything and look at the background pictures. I mean, we had everybody from Vietnamese, Chinese, white, black. We had everybody. And Jeff really pulled it together. And also thanks to Pinewood Studios, because EBS, which is on the Pinewood lot, we were like, we're working with Pinewood Studios? I mean, what? No. So it was, I mean, Jeff really hooked us up, and we thank him so much, and we hope he'll be part of the family to continue with the series of the films, because he really brought his A game.
Yeah, he went above and beyond.
He sure did.
And I was just thinking about that when we were talking about the crew. There were so many amazing things about this. Like our entire camera department, aside from our DP, Fraser Lockhart, was an entire female camera department. I mean, it was so, exactly. And there was such a positive energy like on the set, and it was just to see everybody getting along and helping, you know, championing your story, because that's very, very, very rare.
Yeah.
Yes.
Everybody loved the story.
Yes. Yeah.
So that helped, because people, you know, there were some long hours, and a lot of these people were actually new to the game as well. You know, because, you know, we're independent filmmakers. We didn't have Paramount money, but, you know, we did the best we could.
But you did it. You did it. You put out a wonderful product. So
definitely.
And so those people that came, they actually brought their A game, and they actually believed in the film. So that makes a difference. If your crew isn't going to bring their best, then, you know, why have them there? You know?
Exactly.
And they did. They really did.
Really
did. So you said you were there for 14 days. The shoot took 14 days. So how long did it take from beginning to the end? Because I think some people have the misconception. You say you worked on this stuff for 14 days, and 14 days is a wrap. You do the editing, and day 15, 16, the film is finished. So for those who are watching who don't know the film process, tell us how long it took for the completion of the project.
Oh my God. Well, for one, like you said, you know, Linda, and you're aware of how it works, because, you know, I mean, for people who are filmmakers out there, and for those that aren't, you know, everything begins with the script, you know, the idea, which is considered development. You know, once you develop the story and you do the script, then, you know, and you make all your rewrites or whatever you're going to do, then at that point, then you still cast it. And you do all your pre-production, which is locations. We have to do like, they call it run-throughs of the set, you know, trying to, you know, shoot. And actually, like Brian and Ken, before we brought the DP on, they actually went through the entire movie. With each scene, locations, like we had to get all of our locations. I had to deal with all of that. I mean, we just kind of walked through the whole thing. And mind you, we had never shot in the city we went to before. So I have always had, and on my previous films, I could have been a locations manager, but I chose not to do that. But I love it, though. I love finding things that match what we need. And so I went through, and I would just see different things, and I go back and tell Brian, well, what do you think of this place? You think this will work? And then the people were so accommodating. I mean, that's what was really great. I couldn't believe the police.
Let's put it in time frame.
Oh, right.
So in time frame.
Sorry, I'm going off on a tangent.
In time frame, the script took us probably, I would say, from when we first started writing it to lock it in, probably it was about, maybe I would say about 2 months process.
I was a 2 month
for
process.
the script.
Yeah.
And then we flew out to, once we locked it in and decided we were going to do this, and we were kind of locking in dates, we flew out to Atlanta for a week and scouted all the locations. And literally with the script that we had, one thing that I like to do is go to every potential location and literally walk through the scene. Like I put the camera here, go through all the dialogue. So when we get there, it's not that you don't go through setup again. You have an idea of how everything is going to set up, but then you have the ability to adapt, to change, because you already have a plan. But if you don't have a plan, you can't adjust your plan. You're going to make it up on the fly. So you already have all that set in. So that's what I would say, a week.
Yeah. So and then but we had flown in our previous stuff. Then we came back and then we planned, and that's when we brought in all the cast and the crew, and then we flew back out. And then we were there, but we were there like a week before. So technically, even though the film was shot in 14 days, we were there a week prior to that. And just, kind of settling things in, getting things. And then once we shot it, or once Brian was done with principal photography, then we all, we flew back, and then he had to edit it.
Yes.
And then, oh my God, and that took time. And
I'm trying to think, from when did we?
From inception to?
No, I'm just thinking from when we finished filming, because we had set a deadline for ourselves, because we were presenting the film
at the American
Film Festival. Film Market. So that was in October.
That was in November. So
we
finished shooting. We wrapped principal photography the first week of October. So then the last 3 weeks of October, plus the first week of November, Brian, so it was about 4 weeks.
Yeah, it was a grind.
And he didn't technically edit the entire movie. He just kind of organized it and got it all lined up and done and did several scenes, because we needed those scenes to go and sell the film at the American Film Market, which is a gamble, because you never know how it's going to go. So then we attended that. So I would say roughly about 2 to 3 months, which is actually, Linda,
that's a short period of
realistic.
Time.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's a short period of time.
People and also Brian had been approached by different people telling him that, oh, you're not going to be able to do this movie. There's no way you're going to be able to do this movie in that short amount of time.
Yeah.
But we pulled it off. And I mean, it was a gamble, but if you don't believe in yourself, nobody else will.
Right. And one of the reasons why I think, I was confident that it would be able to happen, because we weren't depending on outside people. I knew I was doing the editing. So, and for me, when I direct for the edit. I don't shoot a bunch of coverage and then figure it out in the edit. I've already cut it together in my mind. So now I'm just shooting those pieces. To me, it's just like a puzzle. I just need this piece, this piece, this piece. Okay, we can move on to the next part. So it took a lot of time to edit. It was really more about the organization, because I knew I was going to cut a bunch of scenes and then come back. But when you have this much footage, it's all about the organization that you have in the beginning. So going through that, because I think we went in with, I think I cut maybe about 12 scenes together and took in maybe 7.
Okay.
And those 7 scenes, we were able to sell the film, because in looking at them, we were just telling them we're already in the process. We shot the film and we're in the process of post-production. So we're just presenting, here are some of the selects that we pulled from the film for you guys to see. And we had investors that were very, very, distributors that were very interested in the film. Just off of the scenes that they had seen, not a trailer, not the complete film, just seeing. It almost felt like they were getting a behind the scenes look, like a peek into the editing room. Hey, this is this little project that we've done. I would really recommend that, because a lot of times you can go to a sales venue like this with just a trailer. And you have to realize, when you're going to a distributor is a seller also. So you're telling a person who sells films how to sell your film.
Right.
If your trailer is not perfect, they don't get it.
Right.
So now it's kind of different. So I would the trailer, but going with scenes.
You're breaking up a bit. Okay.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was just saying, I would suggest going in with scenes of your film, so people can get a clear feel of what your film is about, because sometimes your trailer is not enough to communicate what your film is, or what you're thinking, the message you intended and the message they got are completely 2 different things. And also, I think your scenes give you a chance to show the production value that's a part of your project and the talent that's attached to it. They can get a bigger feel of that, because they're seeing more of it in full scenes over just snippets of something.
Right.
And what's also interesting too, Linda, is that because Brian might even consider doing that, posting the script online, you can follow the film completely
Yes, you
He
can.
stuck completely to the script, to a T,
Wow.
even the dialogue.
Wow.
I mean, the actors were phenomenal. They stuck, but it
And
doesn't
that's
sound like
unusual.
it
That's
is.
It is
unusual.
very.
But they did not waver at all, I don't
Yeah.
believe.
Yeah.
But that and it was that, I think that made it a little easier to cut to, because you already know the story. You know, you don't have to try to figure the story out. And so he just kind of took it from beginning to end, because he had already figured all of that stuff out. So it was
Yeah.
like really cool.
I would say one of the difficult things is, on a project with this scale, you would normally go out and shoot with 2 cameras, but with our budget, and also that second camera would have required us to bring in a second DP on
Right,
that
a
level.
second unit, actually,
Yeah, and
camera unit.
that
It
just we
would have
just
killed
didn't
us.
have that. So that's why I give so much praise to Fraser
Fraser
Lockhart for
Lockhart,
us to shoot this
yes,
and cover it the way we did
Shout
with
out
one
to
camera.
Frasier.
yeah,
Oh my! And even for the talent to constantly,
Oh, the
yes.
talent. And for the
repeat those
people who are
performances.
just coming in, I'm speaking with my guests today are Joyce Fitzpatrick and Brian Shackleford, two brilliant, wonderful filmmakers that you have to get to know. And we're talking about their project, Hidden Orchard Mysteries. And so I got to see it last Friday at the sneak premiere, and it was awesome. And it's on all platforms right now. And go to my previous post so you'll know where to find it. So right now we're talking about the production, how the production ran from start to finish. So catching you guys up.
And Brian was just on such a grind. It was just, I mean, you know, when he came back, he was like, you know, this is what we have to do. And then, you know, on top of that, we hadn't gone to the AFM at all, and we'd heard about it, and they were saying, oh, you need an aggregator, you need all this. So we were really trying to figure out how to approach it.
Yeah.
And prior to even going, I had to sit, and I even tried to incorporate some help from friends. Candace, who tried to help me, Richardson, she was as a production assistant and as a extra. You saw her in some of the scenes. But she was wonderful. And her and I tried to, you know, break down all of these companies. And eventually, you know, I just ended up kind of doing it myself. But we had put together a whole pitch package with the cuts that Brian had put together, the selects, and then a synopsis about the film and our background, you know. And I had to submit it. I swear it was over, what, 100 companies?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it was exhausting.
Yeah.
But we did it. And also for the color medicine, because we did both films. We actually found distribution for both films, and we approached them both the same way.
Yeah.
So all the companies that, and actually for people who have never gone to AFM, this is a lesson. You know, it's not as crazy as people make it sound. You know, you can go, but I don't know why they do that. But you know, but regardless, you still have to look at all of the different companies in the catalog and see which ones fit your genre.
Right.
Right.
Now, make no mistake, it can be a little intimidating.
Yeah,
Look
true.
at it this way: it's
You
2,500.
repeat that, Brian, because you broke up a little bit.
It can be a little intimidating if you don't, again, go in without a plan, because you have 2,500 distributors in an arena at one time. So they're used to hearing, they're not really going to sit down and listen to you flesh out your idea in front of them. It's like kind of some of these meetings go bang, 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 thank you very much. But it's just in the preparation, and then also knowing, because I would think for some people, I would suggest getting an aggregator. If you know you're not the person who can go in and sell your film, I personally just believe the only problem I have with an aggregator is an aggregator usually goes in with your film and about 3 or 4 other films. And when he's talking, all he's doing is filling the person out. The moment they don't get a response about your film, they move on to the next project they have.
They're not going to be champions of your film.
I'm thinking, if I'm going in, I'm only selling one project, and I'm pushing this from every angle. And then also the biggest advice that I could give anybody selling your project, which I learned, is when you're going in, the film that you have is what's getting you in the door. What you're really selling is you're selling yourself. You're convincing that person to invest money in you to go do what you can do.
And
and speaking of investment, Joyce, I know that you did a GoFundMe for your documentary, The Color of Medicine. Did you have to do a GoFundMe for Hidden Orchard?
No, it's interesting because for the color medicine, it was difficult for everyone. Everybody was working and doing different things, but that was a little bit more difficult to get started, but we were able to do the crowdsource funding. But fortunately, I think for the Hidden Orchard, it's sort of like it was just one of those aha moments. I just said, you know what, it's do or die. Very similar to when I did a documentary a long time ago about Mary Fields. I just said, you know what, I have my money and it was my money, and I said I'm going to put it in, and I didn't care. And we actually reached out to family and friends. And we did was really cool though. We did like where if they invested, we give them their money back and they just get a credit on the film. But they gave like, I'd say about a 5% amount toward the budget. The majority of the budget came from us, from myself, and then some from Brian. I mean, I put all my money in. So I was like, dude, you better not mess this movie up because I'm going to be broke. I mean, I really, and I don't know why. I knew why. I mean, I've always championed Brian as a director. And of course, and I'm not being biased because I know people think, oh, you're just being biased because he's your partner. No, that's not it. I mean, I'm really critical. People who know me know I am extremely critical. And so I went based upon his experience and the things that I've seen him do. And I knew that he was going to do a good job. Now, we had no idea we'd be able to sell it, but it just seemed like everything just fell into place. And I just took a chance. I said, you know what? Something is telling me to just go all in, either go home or, like I say, or die trying, whatever the phrase is. I just put all my eggs in the basket, and I'm so happy I did, because look what it turned into. And
but
sometimes
now it's so funny because the same experience you had in putting the money in was the experience I had in thinking, you know what, we need to shoot this film. We're going to go to AFM. I had never been to AFM before, but I was convinced that I'm going to go to AFM and we're going to sell these films.
He manifested. What is it? Manifesto? Like you say that this is what you're going to do.
Yeah, exactly.
Manifest it.
You put it out in the universe. Because I remember, I always think back to whenever getting ready to have these conversations and going in. I remember when I had a manager once who would always put these meetings together for me. And it was funny because he was asking me, why did I want to deal with him? And I was telling him, well, first of all, you're the first person who took me serious, but we have a great tandem because he was a white guy. And I'm like, you can get me into these rooms. And then I come in and just, it's almost like you setting up the alley-oop and I'm going to come in and dunk it. Because when the person you're talking about, they're not expecting me to come in.
Right.
And we did that at a few meetings. And I remember, I'll never forget, he would just sit back in the meetings. He would never say a word. And then after one meeting, he talked to me. He was like, Brian, you don't need me to get into these rooms. The problem is you don't realize you're thinking you're selling these ideas. Just go in and keep selling yourself.
That's right.
There's nothing that I need to go in and say. And literally, that was the same mentality I had going in to AFM. I'm literally going in because at the end of the day, these distributors are here to buy product. They have come here to leave with product. It's just going in, and I thought if we could get this product on this level, there was a certain level that I knew it had to be on. That was another reason for bringing in Fraser and shooting on the format that we did. It
was high.
And I was just going into AFM. I looked at it where distributors would have to convince me why they were not going to take this film because this was it. But it was just that was the level of confidence I think that. And that comes from the experience and all the no's that we and I think over time.
With because with us being that duo, for me,
the dynamic duo.
Over the years, because I'm a gabber anyway, and I'm a salesperson anyway. So
because you used to do PR, so let's not skip over that. Joyce was she was a former publicist too.
Right. And so I kind of know those angles. And then it was just very much about, and plus I had actually done quite a few pitch meetings on projects that I was attached to at like Warner Brothers and different companies. So I've actually gone in and pitched movie ideas and pitched at Disney and all that. So that helped me a lot to be able to go into a room and be confident, and just that's how we were, because we knew we just had to go in like, we know we have something you want. So let's just sit down and talk. And I think that level of confidence made a difference as well. So they were very open to hearing us because of that confidence, I think.
Right. Now, we're talking about you and Brian. So I kind of know how long you guys have been working together. Can you share how long you guys have been working together, and what was it about each other to say, hey, this is the partner for me going forward?
Gotcha.
Well, you want him to tell? So I've been knowing how long.
I remember the second part. I know clearly because I remember we were introduced from a mutual friend.
You're breaking up.
We were introduced from a mutual friend, Tommy Jackson, and I will never forget because Tommy he'd be helping me with a project and he'd be helping her with a project, and Tommy would always stop, and because again, from a director, I plan, and then, okay, planning is procrastination, let's go. So he was just like, your vision and everything is there, but he was like, you need to get with a producer, and I know this producer that I really think you should meet, and because you're doing like the similar type of projects, you have the similar type of vibe, and then also I would go do a project and then wouldn't show it to anybody or wouldn't go out and network, and he was just like, everything that you're doing is only going to work to a certain extent. There's somebody that you need to meet. And I kept hearing this name. And the funny thing was, I'll never forget this, was there was a time when we were applying for the same festival. Film festival. And I remember Tommy was helping me get some stuff done, and I needed to shoot a little bit more. And I'm thinking, well, wait a minute, you've been mentioning this person all this time. Get her on the phone, and now we can meet. Let me see if she'll let me use her camera. And I will never forget this to this day. She was like, oh, this is Brian? Yeah. You want to use what, my camera? No, I don't know you.
Exactly.
I was just like, okay, this is who you want to be.
Extras on it, okay?
No,
yes, he is. And let me tell you why. Only because, it wasn't that I said, oh, it's Brian. I did not say that. No, I did not. And you can say, I'll take that to the grave. No. What happened was, the camera, it's just that I didn't know him, and I know how expensive equipment is.
You got that
and for me, I just never did that before. I don't generally just be like, oh yeah, hey, here, use my camera. And he's kind of learned that over time because he's loaned his equipment out to people and it's come back broken. So he's learned, and I don't do that because my thing is I'm the one responsible for it, not you. So at the end of the day, no, I did not loan it to him. And then what happened was, I don't know, a while later, a year maybe, I don't know.
Well, some people call it karma.
Well, yeah, because at the time, Discovering Mary, which is still a work in progress, people love it, but it does need some editing, and we're in the process of doing that. But it is a baby film that I love. And
Ray says I believe Brian.
Yeah, right. You know what? And then that's a whole nother conversation. But you know what? I have to say, one of your viewers, we've had a history of working on projects together, and he's another great person to work with, and he knows my antics. Everybody knows working with me, you're going to get it. So, but it ended up, I needed a project edited, and our mutual friend had said, why don't you reach out to Brian? And I thought, oh God, he's not going to talk to me after what I said. He's not going to do it. And at the time, it's weird because you know how you only hear a person's voice? So I didn't know what he looked like, what he was, and nothing like that. But it was funny because he sounded like Bill Cosby or something to me. I don't know why. He just sounded like Brian Gumble. That's what it was.
Yeah.
So I expected this guy. I expected this. Yeah, not Bill Cosby. I expected this guy to come out with like the multicolored shirt on or something, a sweater or something like that. And when I finally got to his place, because I spoke with him and I said I needed to edit something and it has to have a quick turnaround. I said, and I probably can't afford your prices because I know you work on network shows and all that. And he goes, oh, no. Go ahead, bring it. I'll do it. So I thought that was really nice of him. And when I saw him, I was like, this is the dude that I was talking to? Because, he had the hair and then he had the earring in his ear and all hip looking and everything. And I'm going like, I know this is not the Brian that I met over the phone, But I kid you not, from the day that we met, which was August of 2009, I have to pull up the old emails of the day. Yeah. We have been together ever since that very day.
Wow.
That's kind of
See,
crazy. That was in
see,
2009.
Yeah.
and you guys been making wonderful products since then, and that's
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
awesome. That
It
is
was
Yes.
Tommy.
awesome.
Tommy was definitely right.
Yeah.
It made so much more sense to connect because again, there were things that I know, and it's been
Mhm.
proven over time that she brought to projects that were it just wasn't my realm. I didn't think as far in the realm of producing. I would always think of the technical and the directing and what's in front of the camera, and then editing because there'd be times on projects I'd have to hold the camera and the microphone, but
Hmm.
to be able to, it's almost like, hold on, we're competing. Maybe let's see what happens. And then
Yes.
another
Breaking
one.
up a little bit.
Well, I was saying we were competing, but then I figured, you know what? Let's try to do a project. It's almost one of those things. You've been doing this for so long. Let's try this and see what happens. And we tried doing a project
Right.
together, and we've been doing projects together ever since.
Yeah, and Brian taught me a lot, because I was a director in my own right, and the thing with me was, I was really good with promos too, because I'm really good with short form. I know
Right.
how to pull the story out and everything because I did a bunch of promos for PBS, so it was like really quick. So my whole thing was learning all the technical aspects of directing. I mean, I could see the bigger picture, but Brian was really good about different angles and pulling the story out. So, he taught me a lot. And then he also taught me more discipline because I'm the biggest procrastinator on the face of the earth. And I love the story and getting the story together. But then when it comes to actually doing it, I'm like, oh God, I got to actually go do it.
Talk about the story
Yeah.
and plan it. I'm like, all right, well, this is what we got to do. And well, hold on.
Then all of a sudden it's like, oop, I'm not ready yet.
Right.
But he's the type, come on, let's just dive in. And so
Right.
it finally clicked with Hidden Orchard Mysteries because I said, you know what? And I think it scared him too. I don't think he expected me to be that way. That I was just saying, let's do it. Let's go. And it was so much fun.
Yeah.
It was
Look at the product. I mean, look at the end result of what you got. So I'm watching the clock here because unfortunately Instagram only gives us an hour to go
Okay.
live. But I wanted to give you an opportunity to tell people where they can find both Hidden Orchard Mysteries and the story, the Homer G. Gillis Hospital. Folks, believe me, I know it's just been a long day. It's been long.
Okay.
So
No,
it's been a long day.
No, it's fine. Well, it's Hidden Orchard Mysteries, the case of the Airbnb robbery, and the color of medicine, the story of Homer G. Phillips Hospital. Now, because it's been out, if people just put in the color of medicine, it should pop
It'll
up
come
on
right
their
up. It'll come right up.
Yeah, it should. Or just put in our names and they'll find it that way. And you can follow it. Hidden Orchard is on Instagram at Orchard Hidden. So once you type that in, you'll see Hidden Orchard Mysteries on Instagram. And then the color medicine on Instagram is the and then the _color_of_medicine. And then you can find both films on Fandango, Vudu, iTunes, Google Play, what's the other one? Amazon Prime, Amazon Instant, what else? iTunes, Vimeo,
the YouTube paid service.
Yeah, YouTube paid service. And they're only doing it this way for like the next 2 to 3 months. But then after that platform, and it's also playing internationally. We're not really sure. There's 200 affiliates. If people go to our Instagram, it's all listed there.
Give them your Instagram. Give them your Instagram.
Yeah. My Instagram is at Fitzpatrick Joyce. But if they go directly to Hidden Orchard Mysteries, which is at Orchard Hidden, all you do is type in the @ or ampersand and then Orchard Hidden. And we also have a website, which is Hidden Orchard Mysteries Movie.com. It has to be just like that. And all the information is there as well. Yeah. And Brian's Instagram is?
Oh, it's at Picasso, PIXASSO 72. That's my social for everything. I keep it very simple.
Brian said, listen, I don't have time for 11 million.
Right.
For Facebook, Twitter, everything.
That's smart.
That's smart. Just at Picasso 72. Yeah.
And we both have our productions companies which show stuff too. I'm at Flat Cat Productions. It's Flat Cat, and then there's a hyphen.
See, I ain't got
Productions.com. And then Brian's
It's
is
Tunnel Vision Entertainment. I'm sorry,
Tunnel Vision Films.
Films.
com.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
And believe it or not, Joyce, somewhere, and if our friend is still watching, which I'm pretty sure he is,
Yes.
when I met our friend, he handed me a flat cap production card,
Oh
and I
my God.
still have it. So I have to
Oh
dig it
wow.
out, but I still have it. As a matter of fact, I think I ran across it when I first started working from home. You know how you start going through things and purging, and I
Yeah.
was like, oh my God, I still have this. So yeah.
Well, it's kind of
That's
funny how
great.
the name came up because my
Mhm.
name is Fitzpatrick. And so, I just didn't want to, I don't know. I just didn't want to have like Four Clover Productions. That's so cliche. So I just said Flat Cat. I don't know. And I'm a cat person, so I love cats. So,
Yeah.
and it's actually on the screen too. You can see that at the beginning of the movie. So,
Right.
and Ray is on there. Ray actually is such a
I see
cool person.
Ray. Ray
The
is
brother.
I've known Ray, oh my God. Ooh, it has to be over 20 years.
Oh
Yeah,
my
over
God.
20 years.
Both of us
Yeah.
have known him for
Oh,
a long time. Ray's a
yeah.
sweetheart and he's so smart and he's such a good
Mhm.
writer in his own right.
And I'm
I've been
waiting for
trying to
him
get him.
to do his own film.
I
I
know. We are
know.
all
That's what we
waiting
keep
on
hearing.
Ray.
Yes,
He's
yes.
so prolific and
He
Mhm.
is
funny as heck. Oh my God. Ray is hilarious. Ray has me cracking up all the time.
Yes,
He's so
yes.
named
funny.
after, he said,
Slaughter.
named
Oh my
after
God. But
Slaughter,
he's talking
the
about my
cat.
cat. He's known me that long. But he had a cat that was gray that was so cute. What was that cat's name? I forget. Smokey or something. It was really cute. Onion. That was the name of Ray's cat, Onion.
No,
But we're
really,
all so happy to
Anya.
have met you and are friends with you,
Thank
Linda. You're an
you. And thank
amazing
you,
interpreter.
God.
Thank you so much,
And
Joyce.
we wish you
Definitely.
so much success. And you need to continue doing your I Am Not So Hollywood interviews because
Yes,
people
yes.
need you to be out there because there's so many people like us. We're not the big, stars right now as far as, like Ava DuVernay and all those people. We're happy for them. But, we don't fall in that category. We're just happy to be on the, the radar. And you're helping us to be on the
Thank
radar.
you. And I really appreciate it. And it's individuals like yourself and Brian that brought me back. And
Oh,
this time that we're going through right now, our voices, diverse voices, need to be heard like yours and Brian's. And I'm glad that I can give you all, and anyone else who wants, Ray, I can give you all a platform in which to talk about your projects and speak your mind on what's going on within the film industry and how to bring quality content to the masses. So
That is
I'm going
great.
from this point forward. Just going to dive right into it. And
that's
to anyone who's listening to this now or watching now or post, if you want to do an interview with me, just hit me up in my DMs and I got you.
Thank you,
Thank you. Thank you
Linda.
All
so much.
right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you guys. And thank you to everyone who stopped by. I am So Not Hollywood TV on IG. And I'll talk to you guys soon.
All right. Stay safe.
Take care.
And you
Love
too.
you. Thank you.
Love you guys.
Bye-bye.
Bye.